Legacy 4x4, working on the Sammy again. We've got some gifts in the mail. It's propane conversion, so it should be fun. It's my first time doing this. Let's see how hard it is. So the stock Samurai is kind of a rat's nest at the most generic description. So I'm gonna remove the carb, remove all the attached vacuum hoses, throttle linkage, everything, and get a nice starting place to start with the propane conversion. While I'm at it, I'm also going to remove the whole gas tank and all the lines, since I'm not going to need them anymore. Once we're at a blank slate, we can get to installing all these propane parts. Okay, got everything stripped down, and this kit is from GotPropane, and that's where I got it from. These are the instructions. It's not a step-by-step, it's kind of just pictures of how everything should look. So that's kind of what I'm going off. And when we get to the engine, you'll see I've got the mixer and everything already on where the carburetor used to be, just because I didn't want to leave this intake port open. So I went ahead and slapped that on. I'm still gonna have to figure out what vacuum lines remain, water ports, stuff like that. So I'm gonna sit here and stare at it till I figure that out by going back and forth from the picture and the instructions that are on there. As you can see, I've got all the fuel lines ripped out as well. And when we pop to the back, the tank's gone. So, propane tank, I have a feeling is gonna go right on this cross member right here. And we'll make a little bit of cage work and we'll get rid of all this excess. So that's the plan. I'm going to keep looking at that picture and coming back and forth. And if I uncover anything remarkable, I'll let you guys know. Okay, so in order to get the throttle like how they did in that picture, I had to, first of all, I had to reverse the mixer around so that it was the proper orientation. Now I reused this old bracket that came off the carb, drilled that into the lever arm right there so it rides the lever arm. And now I gotta use the second part of that bracket and cut and fold and bend this in order to match that picture. Basically what it's gonna do is it's gonna attach that bolt right there and provide the support to actually, pull the throttle. So they don't really say that in the instructions, so it's kind of just looking at the pictures and figuring out for yourself. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, so the parts are still piling up. Here's how everything looks so far. So we got the mixer in place, we got the throttle roughly in place. Those are the two old parts off the old carburetor that got flattened out and readjusted. Still gonna need to adjust this plate to come over this way a little bit. You can see it actuates pretty smoothly, but it's not fully in the groove. So I'll have to tinker with that. Second thing is, this is a piece of 3/16" steel mounting to where the old fuel filter was. If I get all these wires out of the way, you can see we got the regulator mounted in place too. Everything over here is loose fitted, so I'm gonna put some Teflon tape on everything, get everything hard mounted and up to tight. This fitting, as well as this fitting right here, are for the heater core or hot water, whatever you want to call it. All I'm going to do is reroute these two hoses to these two fittings, and we're going to call those good. And then this black fitting in the back is for the propane, and that goes to this black fitting right here. So I'm going to go ahead and wire all that up, get everything nice and tight, nice and in place, and then we can work on the tank and, starting to finish things off. I think I'm doing everything right. Like I said, this is the first time I'm doing it, and all I can go off is pictures. So, all right, just doing a little bit of cleaning on the garage floor. But we got everything mounted and in place. This is a little bit tight of a bend. I need to put a 90 right here is what I need to do. And that'll be in the mail, but that should be able to flow enough fluid still. Coming through the other side, we actually hooked right back up to the heater core. So since I had this stock crossbar in the Samurai, I figured I'd use it. I went ahead and drilled out a hole about this size in order to take this 1/2" bolt, and then all I'm gonna do is put the tank right in between there, and we should be perfectly fine, and then I can build cage around it when I get there. These adjustment clamps work by how far you thread the clamps into its little nut right here. That's what it looks like outside the clamp, and then obviously you pull these up and clamp them down. So that's the way it's gonna work. I'm gonna get these adjusted and throw the 33-pound tank in. Okay, so a couple things. Always wear a glove when you're working with propane, since it's like -50 or something. It's really fucking cold. Besides the point, got the tank mounted. We got one side of the line ran. It's could be sturdier, but I think that's just because the cross member is not sturdy enough. So might be adding some bracing when we do the tube work. And as you can see, since it's only a 33 gallon, it's a little skewed. Yeah, nothing we really can do about it since these mounts only except the wide part of the tank. It's right here, it'll be too skinny. So, you know, maybe I can buy different mounts, but for now it's gonna be a little bit skewed, and we're just gonna roll with it. Not gonna think about it. We've got the first end of the line soft ran through to the frame, as you can see right here. And a little note for when you cut this shorter, put a really tight wrap of electrical tape around it. That way when you take it to the grinder or snip off whenever you cut it, you don't have any frayed parts. So yeah, this is where I want it to get cut. I'm gonna take it over to the bench, cut it, put the other end of the AN line on it, and then we're gonna run this completely, and we should have a complete system. So you guys ready to try this magic? Let me walk you through everything I've done. I think I'm good with these pictures. Not the best instructions, but if you understand the process, I think it's okay. It's my understanding, at least. So we have the mixer. Don't mind this spring. So if I take this spring off, you can see my throttle linkage. It's all janky and bent, but it doesn't quite return to center every single time. You know, I guess it does now, but it used to not when I was playing with it. So we're gonna leave this spring just hooked over the top right here. It might cause some interference fitment issues, but it's a whole hell of a lot tighter. So we're gonna run that the way it is for now. And then we're gonna come all the way down to the regulator. Like I said, this hose needs to be fixed. I need a 90 for this fitting. Then we got the solenoid right here. This is patched into some old audio wiring. It doesn't require a lot of high voltage or anything crazy. So I'm gonna go ahead and electrical tape over these bad boys, tape these back together, and throw that in that pseudo wiring harness we got right here. And then we run all the way to the back. We've got big fat zip ties holding everything in place, and then we come to the propane tank itself. This is obviously a 33-gallon liquid propane tank out of a forklift. And yeah, so I do know that I need to replace the fan belt. So when I try and start it, assuming it starts, hopefully it does. When I try and start it, it's probably gonna squeak, so I'm probably gonna mute it. But after the squeaking's done, we're going to unmute it and make sure everything idles properly. So let's try it. Actually, that actually started like right away. So running on propane now, I guess that was easier than I thought it was. And as you can see, I cut a bunch of the old vacuum lines out, and I need to get real plugs for these, not just reuse them. But yeah, it's running fine. That idle adjustment's probably a little high. I just set it a little higher just because I had no idea what it needed. I could probably lower that a little bit, but great throttle response. So yeah, let's go for a test drive. Also, you know, just like a carburetor, all you need is a screwdriver to tune it. But with the propane, all you need is a 12-volt positive. No computer, no nothing. You just need a regulator and some hoses. But it is quite literally this easy to tune. Idle down, idle up. It's quite literally that easy to tune. So pretty neat. I'm gonna leave it right about there. That sounds fine to me. Always just gonna carry a screwdriver to adjust it. So really simple system, but let me button this up and we can go for a test drive. All right, so we're officially running on propane. Pretty stoked about that. And as you can see, a little more profile shot of the cage. It's kind of big like that because I'm a big dude and it's easy to get into, and it's just really a farm vehicle. So farm/play vehicle. So that's it though. That's the propane conversion. It was actually much easier than I thought. And also there's the top pack on it. I don't know what razor that came out of it, but that's a Polaris razor top. You can see it up in there. But yeah, it runs a whole heck of a lot better than it did with the stock carb and all the vacuum leaks it had. So stoked with that. I think next time we see this, it's either going to be welding the axles or it's going to be finishing the bed. Gotta do some more tube work to finish off the cage. So that's it for this one though. Nice, quick and easy video. And yeah, I will catch you guys next time.